Hamner Nation, what is going on? This is Marcus. Before I get started, I want to thank you guys so much for your support. It means everything to me. You guys mean so much to me. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. I love you all. Make sure you guys hit that bell so you can get notified whenever I drop a video. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, and we're going to always keep this thing rolling. So, exciting news, especially for Marvel, and I'm actually hyped myself. So we're actually going to get a new Daredevil series, and apparently it's going to be season 4 as well, and I can't wait. The first 3 seasons of Daredevil is actually incredible. So, and then considering the fact that Matt Murdock actually made a cameo in Spider-Man No Way Home, fans have been actually aching to see him return in his own series as well. So I definitely can't wait. And I believe we're going to see more Matt Murdock in the future MCU as well. So I really can't wait. It's going to be awesome. But a new Daredevil series, I cannot wait. It's going to be so cool. And then we also get an update on Thor Love and Thunder, especially for the second trailer. So we'll probably get an update into whether we're going to actually see Gore the God Butcher is played by Christian Bale. So we'll probably get like a first look. We'll probably see where that will go as well. And then more Spider-Man news as well. So Spider-Man 4 is definitely in the works. So definitely looking forward to hearing about that as well. So, but I got Cosmic Wonder, Warren Thompson. He was talking about the exact same thing as well. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and today we have some Spider-Man 4 updates, and I'm talking about 2 different Spider-Man 4s. We have updates today about 2 different Spider-Man 4s. One, of course, about our current MCU Spider-Man, Tom Holland, and Zendaya returning along with Jacob Batalon, and the other Spider-Man 4, of course, being the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4.
Yeah,
we
that's
also have some details about the official runtime for Thor Love and Thunder, not to mention when that second trailer is going to be coming. Should be coming next week, but we'll talk about that in a bit. And of course, we have to talk about the new Daredevil Disney Plus show that is coming from Marvel Studios. It is officially in the works, and we know a little bit of details about what to expect from that, including what other shows Daredevil is going to tie into. We'll break down all of this awesome news in this
Daredevil Spider-Man team up will be great.
Subscribe so you don't miss
Just like in the comics too.
Marvel news. So, the first Spider-Man 4 that we'll talk about is the one that is with Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, and John Watts directing. Now, this is kind of interesting because this new report states that Sony wants John Watts back to direct the future Spider-Man films. However, recently, according to our knowledge, John Watts backed out of directing the Fantastic Four because he needed a break from superhero films. But Sony seems to be fairly confident that John Watts is going to come back to direct the next Spider-Man film. And according to Sony, they want to start working on it soon. And this information is actually coming directly from the source, as direct as it can get, with Sony chairman Tom Rothman doing an interview with Deadline. They talked about a lot in this interview, but then Deadline went on to talk about those who doubted Sony's strategy and underestimated their franchise's strength, in which Rothman replied that they have Uncharted, Jumanji, Spider-Man. He says, "We have our Marvel business, which breaks into 3 tranches. There are the Spider-Man movies, and we're currently at work on 2 Spider-Verse sequels to our Oscar-winning animated movie with Lord and Miller." And then he says, "We hope to get working on the next Spider-Man movie."
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So, and then on top of that, I mean, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man will be pretty cool too. So, definitely be awesome for that. Let's see.
Which Deadline then asked him, with John Watts, Tom Holland, and Zendaya returning, and Rothman replied with, "That whole group, we hope." Side note, he also goes into a little bit of their other projects, saying that then there are movies I would call adjunct to the Spider-Man universe. That's Kraven, which we're shooting now.
Spider-Man will be great too.
Which will start in the spring with SJ.
That's also been talked about as well.
And then there are many Marvel characters that are standalone. So it looks like Sony has quite a bit of plans for their Marvel Spider-Man universe. But obviously the biggest takeaway here is that Sony wants to start on the next Spider-Man film soon. And they hope, and probably expect, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon to return, but also John Watts to possibly direct the next trilogy. He did a pretty great job with the Homecoming trilogy, so I'm sure people would love to have him back. And if they're going to continue the same story that Spider-Man No Way Home left off with, it would be great to have him back, and it looks like that's their plan. They are going to stick to continuing the story of everybody forgetting who Peter Parker was, including MJ and and Ned. And this is made pretty apparent since Rothman says that they want the whole group back. You're obviously not going to have them back if you're not going to continue the story. You can't just start a new story. So for those of you who were wondering if Zendaya is going to return as MJ and Jacob returning as Ned, it looks like they are. And I'm going to assume that at whatever end this comes to, whether that's another 3 Spider-Man films or just a Spider-Man 4, whatever it is going to end with MJ.
Which is
and
also
Ned.
interesting too to point out with Ned, because apparently Hobgoblin is supposed to be showing up too. So we'll probably get more information about that in the future. But just mind you, Jacob was even saying it himself that playing Hobgoblin will be pretty interesting, considering that in the comics, Ned Leeds was actually revealed to be Hobgoblin, but that was during the whole crime saga, the Crime War saga. So as far as that goes, I mean, Ned was revealed to be Hobgoblin, but that was supposed to be like a can of worms, because it was a whole complicated issue with that, because later on it was revealed to be Robert Kingsley, who was a former fashion designer who became the Hobgoblin. So it was a whole can of worms. I think it was a creative dispute between that, but that's a whole nother can of worms. But I'll talk about that in my next video. But basically, Jacob is in talks to playing Hobgoblin as well, so we'll see how that goes, if that's actually going to work out as well, if Hobgoblin's going to make his way into the MCU, or if Ned's going to play a bad guy. So it'll be pretty interesting to note that too. So
remembering who Peter Parker is and hopefully remembering everything that they went through. However, this is not the only Spider-Man 4 that fans want to know about. Ever since Spider-Man No Way Home brought together the 3 different generations of Spider-Man, Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire, fans have just been loving it, and a bunch of reports came out after the movie was released that have been stating that Sony wants and has plans for Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Possibly wanting to give us a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire. After all, Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire were supposed to do 4 Spider-Man films, but they only got to do 3. And Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire opened up about that and said that it was pretty hard on them. Now Sam Raimi is back directing for Marvel. Of course, he recently directed Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And now a lot of people are wondering if he could possibly direct the MCU Spider-Man now. Perhaps direct the next Tom Holland trilogy. However, Sam Raimi says that he is not going to be directing any Tom Holland Spider-Man films. Now, it's not because he doesn't like Tom Holland as Spider-Man or he doesn't like those films. It's actually because he loves and respects Tobey Maguire too much. In a recent interview with the Los Angeles Times, Sam Raimi praised Spider-Man No Way Home for opening up the multiverse and bringing some of his old friends into one movie. He also had really great things to say about Tom Holland and the direction that those films went. He said, "I love Spider-Man, and I love Tom Holland in the role, but if I made a Spider-Man movie, it would probably have to be with Tobey, or he'd break my neck." And I love that. I love that he started it with Tobey Maguire with their 3 Spider-Man films, and if you were to come back and do Spider-Man,
Tobey and Andrew are
awesome.
awesome.
That Spider-Man to be Tobey, because that's been his buddy for all these years.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Sam Raimi is actually open to returning, which would make sense because he just directed
Andrew
Multiverse
Garfield,
of Madness,
too.
a Marvel film. In fact, he says he's definitely open to coming back to direct a Spider-Man 4 if Marvel is up for it. In the same interview, he said, "I don't know if Marvel would be interested in that right now. I don't know what their thoughts are about that. I haven't really pursued that, but it sounds beautiful. Even if it wasn't a Spider-Man movie, I'd love to work with Tobey again in a different role." This is great news because in all of the interviews after Spider-Man No Way Home was released, Tobey Maguire said that right now he's up for anything. So it looks like Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire are both up for Spider-Man 4. The only thing that kind of needs to happen now is that Sony and Marvel need to greenlight it. I personally really hope this happens.
Me
and there
too.
were a lot of reports and a lot of talk after the movie was released stating that this is a big possibility and that the studios are
Yeah, I'm hoping it actually happens too, as far as like just doing another Spider-Man movie. It'll be pretty cool too, though. So yeah, I'm definitely down for that. So
are actually talking about it, which would make sense because Spider-Man No Way Home was a massive success. So fingers crossed that things work out for both Spider-Man 4s. Now for some Thor Love and Thunder news, in case you haven't heard, there are some big reports out there stating that the Thor Love and Thunder second trailer should be coming this Monday. Now as far as what
most Marvel trailers
I believe
drop on
the first
Mondays.
trailer dropped at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So if they're planning on dropping it as the same time that they dropped the first trailer, that's when you can expect it, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Also, this is not a final confirmation and things could always change, but according to the website cineworld.co.uk, the runtime for Thor Love and Thunder is going to be 140 minutes. So 2 hours and 20 minutes long. Again, this could always change and may not be accurate, but this is listed on their official site. Now, of course, to finish this off, we have to talk about the big news. Marvel Studios is officially developing a Daredevil Disney Plus series. This report is coming from Variety, who are very big and very reputable. They get a lot of exclusives, and of course there's really no reason to not believe that a Daredevil show is coming. It's been rumored for a while now, and of course we saw him in Spider-Man No Way Home. And according to some old reports, we're actually supposed to see Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock / Daredevil in the MCU a few times before the series actually comes out. Now, we know we're going to be seeing him in the She-Hulk series. Jennifer Walters is a New York lawyer, so is Matt Murdock, and they both represent superheroes, so it just makes sense that their paths would cross at least a little bit. But then we just got word that the Echo series, of course, is coming to the MCU, which we knew about, but has now been officially announced. And if you know anything about Daredevil and Echo in the comics, they're lovers. They are really, really important to each other. Plus, not to mention, the main villain of the Echo series should be
the Kingpin.
And of course, we've already seen him in Hawkeye. And according to some reports, the events of the Echo series are actually going to lead into the Daredevil series. So it sounds like he's going to be in Echo as well. And hopefully this all eventually leads to a big fight against Kingpin with Spider-Man, with She-Hulk, with Echo, and Daredevil. Ultimately, I hope it leads to a true Sinister Six film. And they could have 5 other heroes joining Spider-Man to fight the Sinister Six.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be lit. Oh, that's gonna be so cool. I mean, it's gonna be so lit. It's gonna be so awesome. I'm hyped, got goosebumps. I mean, so many crossovers now. It's just like in the comics now. We could be getting all the heroes coming together too. So it's like She-Hulk, Daredevil, Spider-Man, teaming up against Kingpin, who basically will end up starting the Sinister Six, just like in Spider-Man, the animated series too, in season 2 of the Eugenic Nightmare too. So, oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm hyped for this series. And like I said, it actually would make sense to have She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, and Matt Murdock to cross paths and everything like that too. And I'm also excited for the Echo series as well. So with the events after Hawkeye, after when Echo supposedly killed Kingpin, and of course we know in the comics that Kingpin actually went blind. So he pretty much survived the whole ordeal, but he could be the main villain in both Echo. I think it's going to end up leading to a showdown between Daredevil and Kingpin eventually. So I think somehow Kingpin's going to get his sight back. But Vincent D'Onofrio is a really great actor, and he's definitely great with portraying the Kingpin. And even he himself isn't going to give out any secrets as to where the Kingpin is going to come back, because considering that he also works for Marvel as well, he's definitely going to keep it hush-hush too. But I'm excited about this, guys. It's so good. But what do you guys think? If I have any more reports coming in, especially for Thor Love and Thunder, it's going to be cool too. So I'll definitely react to Thor Love and Thunder's trailer as well for the second trailer. But it's going to drop Monday morning, so I'll definitely be able to watch that and check it out for myself. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, especially with these projects coming up. What do you guys think about Spider-Man 4? Thor Love and Thunder? Let me know what you guys think. So, especially with the new Daredevil series coming too. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. I love you guys so much. Thanks for everything. I'll catch you guys in the next one.